بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون رضا بقضائه وتسليما بأمره. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، أحسن الله لك العزاء في قتل ولدك الحسين. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين، أحسن الله لك العزاء في قتل ولدك الحسين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء، أحسن الله لك العزاء في قتل ولدك الحسين. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، أحسن الله لك العزاء في قتل أخيك الحسين. السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والأمر والزمان، أحسن الله لك العزاء في قتل جدك الحسين. The following is an account of the most harrowing night that Ali Muhammad had to face. The night that is known as Sham and Gjareebaan. The night of those that were alone. The day of Ashura passed. The head of Hussain alayhi salam was raised upon a spear at the time of Asr. And then a number of things happened in Karbala. The first thing that happened, before anything else, was that the sound of shattering glass was heard across the plains of Karbala. You often hear that Zainab's first question to Imam al-Sajjad was about the burning tents. But there was a question before this. When the sound of shattering glass was heard, Zainab came to Imam al-Sajjad and said, Sajjad, what was that sound? He said, oh Aunt Zainab, that was the sound of the breaking of the ribs of my father, Ali Abdullah. Umar ibn Sa'ad, after all the shuhada's bodies were there, he came forward. He said, whose body shall we trample? They said, trample the body of Habib. And they made the intention to trample the body of Habib, but there were some people from the tribe of Bani Asad in the army of Yazid. They said, no, we will not allow you to desecrate the body of Habib. He is from our tribe. Others came forward, he said, what of the body of Burayd? Someone came forward and said, no, Burayd is from our tribe. We will not allow you to trample his body. He said, what of Zuhair? What of one by one, Muslim ibn Awsaja? Different people came forward and said, no, we will not allow you to trample the body of these individuals. They are from our family. Said, what of Ali Akbar? Someone came forward and said, no, from his mother's side, he is related to us. We won't allow you to trample his body. Umar ibn Sa'ad says, is there no one in Karbala that has no relation with us? They say there's only one person, and that is Hussain ibn Ali. 11 receive their reward. They said, نَحْنُ رَزَزْنَا الصَّدْرِ. This رَزَزْنَا الصَّدْرِ, do you know what it means? It means that we made the bones of Hussain soft under the hooves of our horses. We crushed his bones into his back. They trampled the body of Abu Abdullah. And now they turn their attention towards the tents. They begin to loot the tents of the daughters of Ali and Zahra. Not just the tents. The Maqatil say they begin to loot the jewelry from the hands and the feet of the daughters of Ali. They come towards the tents. The Maqtan says the children began running out across the plains of Karbala. Imam al-Sajjad described it to his companion. He said, if I was to break this tasbih, and do you see how the beads spread across the earth? This is how the children of Hussain ran when they came to loot our tents. And in amongst that, many children were killed while crushed under the hooves of the horses. There is one narration in the Maqtal that says a young boy came out from the tent. He was from the family of Aqil, the brother of Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says this child came out. He was wearing a shirt on his body. He was only 8 or 9 years old. The narrations describe him. He had 2 pearls in his ears. He came out from the tent looking afraid, looking left and right, not knowing where to go. The child comes. A rider comes towards him. He draws his sword. He attacks the child. He slices towards the child. The child is killed. They say his mother stood by. She was bewildered. She couldn't believe what had happened to her son. They looted the tents. One mal'oon comes inside the final tent. He looks around. There is nothing to loot. He's crying and trying to loot. Zainab al-Aqila says to him, "Oh mal'oon, why do you cry? Why are you looting?" He says, I cried because you are the daughters of Rasulullah. And what a time has befallen you that you are being looted. She says, so then why is it that you continue to loot us? He says, if I don't, someone else will come. He moves forward, he sees nothing to take. Rather, where Imam al-Sajjad is lying, there is a leather mat underneath the Imam. He pulls it. Imam al-Sajjad falls to the ground. After they had looted the tents, they began to set fire to each of them one by one. The daughters of Ali and Zahra ran from one burning tent to another until they were in the last one. Hazrat Zainab asks Imam al-Sajjad, Sajjad, you tell us, should we burn alive inside this tent or should we go outside? Imam al-Sajjad says, go outside, this is wajib upon you. They say that Sajjad alayhi salam ordered the women, they came out. Hamid ibn Muslim says, I saw the last tent burn. I saw the last tent burn. But I also saw an elderly lady. She was standing by this burning tent, building up the courage to go inside. I thought maybe there was something valuable inside this tent, something that she was trying to get. I saw that at a moment she built up that courage. She ran through the flames of the tent. I was eager to see what is it that she will bring out. A short while later, I saw her supporting on her back a young man that was ill. Zainab was bringing Sajjad out from the burning tent. The tents were looted, the tents were burnt. The sun set on the land of Karbala. And Sham and Gjareebaan began. The darkness fell over the land of Karbala. Zainab and Kulthum began to count children. You are Ahl Masahib, you know where. Zainab and Kulthum began to count the children. But one is missing. The one that Hussain had been trusted to her. Where is Sakina? They say Zainab and Kulthum walked out into the darkness of the battlefield looking for the child. Along the way they found children. Children who had the marks of hooves on their backs. Meaning the children were running away and they chased them and trampled them up in their horses. Do you know that one of those children that Zainab and Kulthum found, her name was Atiqa, and she was the daughter of Muslim ibn Aqil. That same daughter Imam al-Hussein held in his lap, and he passes his hand over her with love. When Muslim dies, that same Atiqa is killed in Sham and Gjareebaan. They trample her under the hooves of their horses. Continue until they reach that mutilated body of Imam al-Hussein, and they see that Sakina is lying on the chest. What remained of the chest of Imam al-Hussein? She's lying on that chest. They wake her up. They say, Sakina, come, where are you sleeping? How do you know where you are? She says, oh aunt, I ran out into the battlefield. When they set fire to the tents, I ran out into the battlefield. And I didn't know where to go. Along the way, she meets Hamid ibn Muslim. Her clothing is on fire. Hamid says, I went forward and I wanted to put out the fire. This young girl says, that do not come near me. I am the daughter of Rasulullah. Do not touch it. He says, Bibi, I wish to just extinguish the fire in your clothing. She allows him. She says that you have Sheikh. Oh Sheikh, you have been so good to me. Will you tell me one thing? He says, what is that? He says, tell me which way is Najaf. At that time, the grave of Amir al-Mu'mineen was not known. Hamid ibn Muslim says, Bibi, what is it in Najaf? Why do you want the way to Najaf? She says, I want to go and complain to my grandfather what it is that they did to my father, Abi Abdullah. They say to her, Sakina, how did you know this was your father? Sakina, it's darkness. The head has been removed from the body. How did you know it was your father? She says, when I ran out into the battlefield, I was calling out, Ya Abata, Ya Abata, Ya Abata. Oh Father, where are you? Father, where are you? From this body a voice came, Ilayya, Ilayya. Oh, come to me, oh my daughter. They bring her back to the tents. And some part of the night, water was brought to Ahlul Bayt. The children were asleep. When the water was brought, Zainab alayha salam goes to Sakina first. Sakina, wake up, water has come. She says, oh Aunt Zainab, why are you giving me the water first? Says Sakina, it is our way that the youngest should drink first. That the youngest should drink first. That the child takes the water in her hand, that glass of water, and she runs to where the tents used to be. They say to her, Sakina, where are you going? She says, oh aunt, you just said to me that the youngest should drink first. My brother Elias. On this night, what those did not before the Ahlul Bayt on this night. But you are tired. you have spent the day crying, but you only heard. But Zainab saw everything. You only heard. And your hearts cannot bear to hear. So we separate the shahadats to different nights. But Zainab saw Ali Akbar killed on this day. Zainab saw Qasim killed on this day. Zainab saw her Oman Muhammad killed on this day. Zainab saw Ali Abdullah killed on this day. Ask how it is that Zainab stayed alive. On last riwayah. At the time when the head of Imam al-Hussain was severed, the order reached from Kufa that the head of Hussain should be sent first. After the looting and the burning of the tents, the head was given to a man by the name of Khuli. Khuli Mal'oon was tasked, reach this head towards Kufa as fast as possible. Khuli takes the head, but by the time he reaches Kufa, Ibn Ziyad, the door to his palace is closed. So Khuli takes the head of Imam al-Hussain to his home. He takes the head of Abi Abdullah to his home, now not wanting to show his wife and his children. He takes the head of the blessed head of Imam al-Hussain and he places it in the tandoor of his house. And he covers it. He goes inside his room and he lays in his bed. His wife turns to him and says, Khuli, where have you been for so many days? He says, I'm tired, I don't want to discuss it, leave me be. She leaves him. Khuli turns to go to sleep. A short while later, she wakes him up, crying. Says, Khuli, tell me, where is it that you went? What is it that you did? He says, I've told you I'm tired. Leave me be. Why is it that you want to know? She says to him, Khuli, then tell me this much. Why is it that Zahra is coming in my dream and saying to me, why is it that your Khuli did what he did to my Hussain? And why is it that Khuli took that which he took? She says to him, Khuli, what did you do? He says, we were in Karbala. We killed Hussain, the son of Zahra. I have brought his head and I have placed it in the tandoor of the house. She says, Khuli, then what is it that Zahra is saying? That you took something from Ali Muhammad. Khuli, what did you take? Khuli, what did you take from Ali Muhammad? He says, look under my pillow. You'll find 2 earrings. You'll find 2 earrings. Says, Khuli, where did you get it from? Last part of the Messiah. Says, Khuli, where did you get these from? He says, when the tents were burning, the children were running. I saw a young girl coming out. She had earrings in her ears. I wanted them for our daughter. I said to her, give me them. She was young. She was afraid. Her hands were shaking. Her hands were shaking. She was young. She was afraid. I was impatient. She wouldn't take them off. I went forward and pulled them from her head.